In some circles, as violation of constitutional right. Dominica, we have the full team here. Mr. Edison James, former leader of the United Workers Party, former Prime Minister. We have the former leader of the United Workers Party, Mr. Linton, and the current leader of the United Workers Party, Dr. Thompson Fontaine. All three distinguished gentlemen are in the court. Should I say court? In the studio, sorry. They were in the court this morning. So I'm going to say a special good afternoon. As it relates to seniority, I'm going to give the microphone to the former Prime Minister of Dominica, Mr. Edison James, to say his beat. I'm sure you'll have many questions. I will take your phone calls. So the court puts a permanent stay on the incitement case against James, Fontaine, and Linton after 7.5 years. These three men have been persecuted, spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. I know the telephones have already started ringing, but let me allow Mr. James to, of course, begin the program this afternoon. Mr. James, good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon, Matt, and good afternoon to you.
Can you tell the people what really happened in the court this morning?
I don't know if I can give you a detail of what happened.
In synopsis.
But yeah, the judge basically said that the matter before him, and all lawyers, and by the way, before I start, let me recognize the work of the lawyers who were involved. Later, Gilden Richards and Bruni, and Mr. Later was assisted by his assistant, Centile, the young lady called Centile, and Ronald Charles with as well. And the judge basically said that the matter is not a matter that should be pursued. I think our lawyers presented a case based significantly on the question of delay, that a matter which has been in the works for 8 years cannot dispense, justice cannot be dispensed. And so he threw out the matter in response to the request by our lawyers, something we are happy for. Mm-hmm. In some ways, there are some, and perhaps some among them, who reckon that probably it would have been good if the case had gone to beyond that, so we can show the malice that was involved in this whole matter. This matter is, to my mind, it has to be laid at the feet of Mr. Skerritt and Mr. Blackmore, the Prime Minister, and the Minister responsible for National Security. They knew from the outset. There was no doubt in our minds that they knew from the outset that there was absolutely no case. Remember, they declared that we were involved in an attempted coup. That's a very, very serious matter. That's a matter that if I'm not mistaken, the penalty for that is death. And they accused us of being involved in a coup. They knew it wasn't true. And so we also have to remember that this thing has its roots and its wraps in the whole question of electoral reform. Mm-hmm. The incident which is at the center of this was the meeting which was held at Lago in 2017, where we were raising the question of electoral reform. So I really want people to understand the depth that these people will go to prevent the Dominicans from having free and fair elections.
What do you think was the overall objective of this matter?
To decimate the leadership of the United Workers Party and to create fear in the people of Dominica. I am the big whatever looking over you, and if you put a foot out of line, you will suffer the consequences. It's a question of an attempt to intimidate, to undermine the rule of law, to undermine constitutional rights of people, and dealing really to get to spread tyranny among the people of the country. If you can intimidate the leadership of the party and you can eliminate the leadership of the party, then you have no opposition and you have a free hand to do what you wanted. So we just represent, the tip of the iceberg, if you like. Mm-hmm. It is now for the people to understand what we're involved in. There's going to be, and let me just say this. When you look at it, take Marigot, for instance. There are probably half a dozen of us from Marigot who have been persecuted by this government. Linton, okay, the brother of Lennox Linton. Mm-hmm. He cannot even swim to Marigaland. He can stay at his home and see Marigaland, but he can't even swim there because the system has taken away his right to travel on some stupid, flimsy foolishness about treason. Okay, and that is where we are. It cannot be coincidence that that so many of us have been picked up by the police, going to your homes at 4:00 in the morning, picked up by the police on some direction from somebody. I don't know if it's the Minister of National Security or the Prime Minister, I don't know who. But that is where we are. We're happy that things have resulted as they resulted. As you know, in that process, Thompson was put in jail, in the cell.
You were put in jail?
I was put in the cell.
For a couple of minutes?
Well, it was put in the cell for some time. Yeah. And I just want to say, as I've said earlier, I've taken the matter, I've taken action against the magistrate, Mr. Loda.
Really?
Yeah, it's before the court. We were in court on Monday gone, and the matter is in process because I do not intend to allow these guys. Let me just say, there are about 5 matters that I'm involved in the court with right now, and all of them, in my mind, they're clothed with the interference, the involvement of the political directorate, either directly or through their agents and people who believe that is in their interest, in the political interests of their masters, to deal with me in a particular way. So there are 5 matters which I am involved in the court now, and I believe all of them have the political whim in them. Okay, that's where we are.
Let's take Mr. Thompson Fontaine and then Mr. Lennox Linton. Thompson, what's your take on what happened in the courts there?
Well, Matt, let me say firstly, thanks be to God. I think we owe that victory to the Father and of course to the hard and dedicated work of our lawyers. And this is a victory not only for us, for the 3 of us, but I believe it's a victory for every Dominican who have felt the oppression of this government, who've been subjected to some form of abuse by this government. Either it's in the form of a non-promotion or it's in the form of a denial of something because of their support for the United Workers Party. And I think I want to view the victory in that sense. So it goes beyond us. I think this offers hope for the many persons who are in the court system right now and who have been there languishing, some of them for many, many years on remand without a fair trial, without even going before a judge. So I think a lot is going to come out of this case. And the premise that the judge used, although we'd ask him to look at several things, but 2 main ones was the inordinate delay, the very long time that it took to bring the case, but also in terms of the indictment itself. We thought that there was no basis to charge us with incitement because there is nothing in the law that says that there is an incitement charge. And so they were scrambling. In fact, in yesterday's proceedings, the prosecutor even went as far as suggesting to the judge that they could amend the inside the how you call it the charge. They could amend the charge against us, and so that's why I'm pleased that in the judge's ruling he was very clear. Firstly, he was very clear that this was a fundamental breach of our right to a free and fair trial. He also said that this amounted to an abuse of the court process, and he put an immediate and a permanent stay and ordered that the government cannot try us on any other matter related to this particular activity that took place. So, although he focused very heavily on the delay, but there were other very strong points in law that we brought forward to the credit of our lawyers that had to be considered. So, what this tells me, Matt, this vendetta that this government has been embarked upon, their attempts to to embarrass us, to jail us, to make us spend that kind of money, this constant delay. And I counted this today. This morning was my 22nd court appearance. 22nd court appearance linked to this particular case. So imagine the amount of resources, the amount of time. So if you just come, they tell you come at 9 o'clock, you come at 9 and you stay all 1 o'clock. 12, 1 o'clock, so it's a waste of time, a waste of resources. And more importantly, and very importantly, probably not more, but very importantly, it's a waste of the taxpayer dollars. This government hired lawyers from Trinidad, senior lawyers from Trinidad, to come and prosecute us here in Dominica in a case which could have been handled by our local prosecution. But they brought lawyers from overseas, paying them, we believe, in the millions of dollars to prosecute, and that all has to be paid for by the people of Dominica, by taxpayers. And when you think of just the waste that's involved there, because you have a government that is struggling. Just 2 days ago or yesterday, the professors, the teachers at the state college were on a strike because they have not been paid in a couple of months, and they are striking for their money. You have NEP workers who have to wait sometimes 3-4 months to get their money. You have a number of local businesses that depend upon government for survival, not having received their monies. The LPOs are owed to them. So you have all of those where the government has not been able to live up to its expectations or to its responsibilities. And at the same time, they're finding resources to pay to these high-priced lawyers who, by the way, did not care a hoot because they hightailed it out of town yesterday, knowing that they did not have the decency to listen to the judge this morning.
So they were not there this morning?
No, they hightailed it out of town yesterday. The judge told them yesterday that he's going to give his ruling at 9 o'clock. And they left yesterday afternoon and left only one lawyer there to take it, the most junior of the lawyers. So what that tells me is that, this government is a very sinister type of thing. And this idea that the government can do as it pleases, use the resources of the state to prosecute local Dominicans, to prosecute people like us.
Was it prosecute or persecute?
Persecute and prosecute, both. It's a political vendetta. As Mr. James rightly pointed out, and we need to remind people that what that was all about, or is all about, is to decimate, to get rid of the party, because of the leadership of the party, because there is something in our constitution and in our laws that says that if you're in jail during the time of an election, you cannot participate in the election. If you're found guilty and you're serving a court sentence, you cannot participate in the election. So that was an attempt to put us out of action, But thank God, and that's why we have the separation of the judiciary and the government and the parliament. Thank God that the judiciary stood up very strongly against this government and telling them, and in the way that the thing was given. There's one thing before I wanted to point to in the actual order that was given by the judge. I think I have the order there. And, the judge was basically indicating that they should never have exceeded more than 6 months in terms of bringing us to trial. It took over 8 years. And he was very clear that justice delayed is justice denied. The length of time between the charge and the hearing, he said, was unjustified. Trials should be heard within 1 year for indictable matters. That's the other thing that he said. In the case of a preliminary inquiry, absolutely will, because this is a higher court ruling, and the court was very clear. I've not yet spoken to my lawyers about it because I'm due in court on March 17th before the magistrate court. But the ruling this morning, from what I heard, from just my layman's understanding of the law, it was very clear. The judge said that the state cannot try us on any matter relating to those events. And since the evidence, everything else is linked to that same matter, I suspect that will have to be thrown out. But that is something that the lawyers, of course, will have to deal with.
Well, let me turn to Mr. Lennox Linton. He's been there, of course, as a soul there, standing and fighting this battle for over 7.5 years. Mr. Linton, your take.
Good afternoon, Matt.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Matt. Good afternoon to people of Dominica. Dr. Fontaine, good to be with you. Mr. Edison James, good to be with you. And to God be the glory, great things he has done. So loved he the world that he gave us his son. Matt, I want to thank the people who have rallied behind us throughout this ordeal, and especially those who made it their point of duty to be at the court on a number of occasions when we were there, and this morning to be there to receive the verdict of the High Court Judge, Justice Williams. This was always a no case. It was never a case. It was bogus from the get-go, and that is what explains the long lapse of time for getting to prosecution of the case. It was never a real case. And that is what explains the use of lawyers from overseas. If it was a simple case where people had seen incitement and they were able to connect statements that we made to actually inciting people to commit crimes, local lawyers could have done that. They would have been satisfied if local lawyers doing that. What they tried to do was to use a situation where we had a meeting in town on the 7th of February, and then later in the evening, after the police authority provoked a standoff with young people who were anxious about taking them on in the city, and then the vandalism emerged later in the night, they tried to pin it on us. But remember, before that, there was supposed to have been a Kubai truck with us carrying a sound system. That was early in the afternoon. That didn't look as though it was going to stick. So things happened where later on in the evening, this vandalism erupted. And we know from pictures we have seen and video that was made available to us, who were the persons responsible for setting the fires and creating the lawlessness, the scene of lawlessness in the city that night. A lot of them associated with people we know very well. However, that situation was used to pin a charge of incitement against the leadership of the United Workers Party. A number of us were charged with either incitement or with obstruction of the police on that day. The authorities knew well that there was no case to answer in court. They were not doing this for justice. They were doing this for political reasons. They were trying to decapitate the leadership of the United Workers Party, such that we would have difficulty contesting elections against them. And when they realized, well, the case would really be going nowhere because it is something that they had to concoct. Imagine me, Matt. Imagine Edison James. Imagine Thompson Fontaine. Before the court for incitement of people to commit a crime. But there is no statement in evidence, either for Thompson Fontaine or for Edison James or for Lennox Linton, that cites any statement we made to anybody, any single individual, any group of individuals, or any individual at all that incited them to do anything of a criminal nature. So the case was dead from day one. But the fact that they had to concoct it, they couldn't rely on local lawyers to do that. They went for what they considered maybe to be superior talent and capability overseas, and they paid millions of dollars for Can and his team to come in to prosecute and to persecute. The reason it took that long is because it was never a genuine case of incitement contrary to common law as they pretended it to be. We have a situation where in the earlier court, they were charging me for incitement that ran from the 22nd of January until the 7th of February. And then when they reached the High Court, they dropped all the days before the 7th and they limited it to the 7th. The question was, what was it? Was it a continuous offense or was it a single offense on the 7th? And what is it that connects Mr. Linton to the crime of, they didn't know what the crime was. Was it rioting? Was it disturbance of the public peace? So all of those issues, the judge had difficulty with. And it was clear to us, from what we've heard from our attorneys and from the assessment of the court, that the indictment itself was bad. But more than that, as Thompson Fontaine indicated, the judge spent a lot of time citing a lot of authorities on this question of delay. And the fact that our constitutional right to a fair trial before an independent tribunal within reasonable time was breached by the prosecution. And so something had to give. The judge says, as Thompson indicated, this is the end of this matter. The indictment is quashed, and the state is barred from bringing any further action against any one of us to do with any matter related to the 7th of February, 2017. So we have a ugly situation in front of us right now, very ugly situation, where it is very clear what is it the government is prepared to do to persecute those that it does not like. And the amount of state resources it is required, it is willing to, committed to spending on that. I just came through town trying to get here, Matt. It's a nightmare. You tried? You realize there's not been one single parking traffic congestion resolution intervention by the government for 25 years, but they can find millions of dollars to persecute 3 innocent people who they know are innocent, who they know did not commit the crimes that they alleged, but they can spend the state's money to do that. In the meantime, they've spent millions of dollars paying from the public purse, their attorneys. 3 of us individually have to find our own money to pay our lawyers. The interest of justice demands that this cannot end here. And it will not end here. And while this is one of the consequences of unfair elections and stolen elections, where people believe that because they have your electoral system well rigged, and there'll be no consequences of you voting against them because they'll always rig their way or steal their way to a result in their favor, then there's nothing you, the people, can do with them, and they will do what they want with you. You see how they're using the public's money? You see what I said about the parking solutions that we need for the city, on which not a cent has been spent, but you have all of this money in the court. And while we speak of the lawyers who represented us in this matter before Justice Williams. There was Geoffrey Later and Gabriel Saint-Hilaire from Zenith Chambers representing Dr. Fontaine. There was David Bruni representing Edison James and Gilden Richards representing me. I want you must note now that these 3 local attorneys defeated the highly paid attorneys from Trinidad and Tobago who have been involved in this persecution of us 3 for over 7.5 years. But spare thought for my attorney, Gilden Richards, because I was in the box seat looking at the humiliation that was hurled at him over and over and over again, especially by Magistrate Loda. He didn't have an easy time representing me, to the point where one time I felt in court that what was happening between the magistrate and the attorney had nothing to do with me, who was standing in the box. And so I made an attempt to leave the box, and he threatened to send me to Stock Farm.
Wow.
Oh, okay. It has not been an easy road, Matt, in the court, where you could see the forces financed by the state, colluding in the persecution of us on behalf of the Dominica Labour Party. And you know, if we're really interested in justice in this country, at some point in time, there's going to be an investigation. There has to be an investigation of this. Earlier today, when we spoke outside of the court, Mr. James was referencing the impacts, the CARICOM Implementation Agency on Crime and Security, right? And the report, the investigation they did, the report that they issued, which is referenced in the evidence before the court, but we have never seen a copy of the impacts report. We have only heard about it. And regarding this matter of the coup by truck, which is where all of this started from the 7th of February, the impacts report indicates that the only coup that existed was in the minds of Labour Party people, right?
It was never made public.
So we're saying the public's money paid for this report. Let the public have the benefit of the report. Now, in the evidence that I saw against me, 75 witness statements, 64 witnesses, a number of them contradictory of what, or inconsistent with what the ground commander, the police ground commander responsible for operation of the police at the site on that day had to say. A whole series of witnesses, obviously influenced to say a particular thing, to suggest what they wanted. But at the end of the day, the mountain they had to climb to build this case of circumstantial evidence, this case, the circumstantial evidence case against us, was just a bridge too far. It just couldn't have happened. But we see in that the reason why it took that length of time, the reason why so much of the state money was spent, squandered on this exercise, because the Labour Party, Roosevelt Skerrit, believes nobody should call for his resignation. Nobody should ask him to step down, no matter how bad his governance gets, no matter how oppressive, no matter how malicious, no matter how much it's not working for the people of Dominica. Nobody should ask him to leave. And the fact that he was offended by the calls for his resignation that day is what led to all of this. We cannot continue like that. We are democracy.
Let's take a break. We'll come back, Dominica, right after this. Let's do this one from Checo. Count your days. We'll be taking your comments and questions in a few minutes. I'm going to leave it up to you.
Once you were a young man, full of ambition, a budding hope for the country. You had support all around, in the country and the town. The people thought you were the best. 20 years we fast forward, they hold their belly and ball. You may be the worst thing they ever seen. Now those who supported you, turning their backs on you, and like a washed up law, they don't want you anymore. Because the masses have taken all they can take. They're fed up of bending, and anytime they will break. You don't want to be against some people whose very life is at stake. Count your days, count your days, count your days. Count your days, count your days, count your days. Like a terrible train that can't stop, all the people hopes are crushed. You like a shark in water and we bleeding. The people eyes now open, hope that you take a prison or pay for everything that you owe. Maybe it's near TNA, you love to hear people bawl. Like a pedophile, it turns you on. Now the people want to protest, they tired with your comments. They're not squeezing from your knees, while your knees and your arms for sale. A fresh love taste, when money don't count and your pocket don't hurt you. A fresh market, never disappointed. Come again. We are open 7 days a week with the top of the line products. Well stocked supermarket and pharmacy, health and beauty care, fresh produce and meats prepared daily, hot and cold kitchen, ready to go meals, sandwiches, salads, and desserts at your fingertips. Easy access, located on the bayfront, environment friendly, and our staff are approachable and ready to assist. Have you figured out who we are? You got it. Your one stop. Your money don't count and your pocket don't hurt you. Fresh market, never disappointed. Dominicans, enjoy your property, protect your property. You homeowner and businessman, protect your property, enjoy your property. Can't wait for the hurricane, can't wait till you flood again, can't wait till your roof fly out and all your business coming out. Remember, no insurance company will insure your property when a storm is approaching. Get ahead of the hurricane season and insure with a company who gives you the assurance of payment for your valid claim. Come speak with us today at the New India Assurance Company Limited, upstairs AC Shillingford and Company Limited, 24 King George Street, Roseau. Bring along an up-to-date valuation from a qualified engineer and get insured today. Saturday, March 1, 8:30 p.m. Windsor Park Stadium Forecourt. The Dominica Calypso Association, in collaboration with headline sponsors Heineken and Flow Dominica, presents the 2025 Grand Calypso Finals. 10 to battle for the title of Calypso Monarch. Introducing Lady S, Caressa,
Unless you sing on here.
The Bob,
Rotten fruits in government.
The Observer,
Anything in poverty.
Shanice,
Experts in every topic.
Joy,
The ground that we walking on.
Tasha P,
Oh, freedom.
Shady,
Boy, we moving to Badaya.
Go,
Them man don't have gas, so I
and
could.
Dice.
So I sell in my pants.
Guest performances by the Junior Calypso and Boy Obama, Trendsetter, Sai, host DJ Miguel Labadi, and more. Hosted by Val, Young Bull Coffee. Sponsored by Fresh Market, Do It Center, Bullseye Pharmacy, Domlek, Big Edge Financial, Dragon Windows, Belfast Estate, BP Rum, Insurance Company of the West Indies, Discover Dominica Authority, Berkey's Pizza, Kyrie FM, Q95, DBS Radio, Fans Radio, Comsy TV, Vidian TV. Tickets $90 advance, available from Bullseye and DBS. 100 at the gate. Regular compensating $130. Ultimate Party VIP $300. Or live stream for $34 US.
All right, Dominica, we're here. Mr. Edison James, Mr. Thompson Fontaine, and Mr. Lennox Linton. Now the obvious question, gentlemen. What is next? We're going to start anti-clockwise now. Lennox Linton, what is next for you?
Well, before I tell you what's next, you know something I heard in court on more than one occasion from Israel Khan, the senior counsel from Trinidad, representing the state in the matter, that this was a political case. He said that. Well, he said that on more than one occasion. You heard him, Mr. James, right? Yeah. That people must not seek to remove government by the bullet. They must seek to remove them by the ballot. Those were his references in court, meaning that he was suggesting, remember I told you just now about the circumstantial evidence business. So he was suggesting that this was, what happened on the 17th was about removing the government by force of arms. That is what he was suggesting. But they never got to the point where they were actually making that as the accusation against us. But if you listen to him well in court, they were building a circumstantial evidence thing where they were hoping that, okay, in the worst case, they will drag this out for as long as possible, have it over our heads for as long as possible. In the worst case, if it comes down to it, they will have the circumstantial evidence go in their favor that we were really actually, for what we were doing, we were really trying to overthrow the government by force of arms.
Yeah. No, but, this thing has, in the core of this matter, is malice. Malice on the
A
part,
forethought.
malice on the part of government functionaries. Mr. Skerritt, Blackmore, I can name those. Malice, because Blackmore knows, and Skerritt knows about the impacts report. They engage the impacts people, Implementation Agency on Crime and Security. It's a regional body. To bring a regional body like that down here to get involved with an investigation and to spend as much time as they did spend, it's impossible to think that you are going to leave out from your submissions to the court the observations, comments, findings of that body. You left it out. Why? We suggest, and from information I have, is that because the impacts people indicated there's no such basis as you're putting forward in this matter. There's no question of coup or anything of the sort. In fact, I understand somebody said the impacts people said it's in the minds of Skerritt and Blackmore who were followed. So they knew that, and you heard Lennox mention Khan talking about removing a government from force. Mats and the listening public, in my case, and I think in all our cases, there's 75 witnesses, witness statements.
Witness statements.
75 witness statements. Not one of them, not one of those witnesses indicated that they had heard or seen or anything suggesting or to do with us incitement, saying anything to incite. In fact, the commander on the ground, copy, indicated that Lennox Linton told people, go to your homes, okay? Nothing. So the government decided, notwithstanding their knowledge that there's no evidence and no basis, they were going to go ahead with this because they want to fool the people. If they put in the people's minds that the leadership of the United Workers Party is engaged in this high crime and misdemeanor matter, then it will diminish us and our party in the eyes of the people.
But also, listen, James, and there's where the outside attorneys come in as well, because they were hoping that the fact that they hired outside attorneys means that this is very serious, and they're going to get something. They're going to get a conviction against us. Yeah.
But I wanted to say, I feel in some ways a little sorry for our local police, and I want to say to them, think about what you've been put through.
You think they've been used?
Yes, used and abused, and I've had very good relations with policemen, going back to my sister being one of the early women police and so on. And I feel for the police. I'm empathetic to the police. And I feel sorry for those guys because they were definitely under pressure. They were cajoled into doing this thing. There might be some who obviously have their political leanings and they're probably happy to do that. But I get a sense that the police have been cajoled, forced, pushed into this thing. And the judge is the one who gave the decision today. I would like to say to the people that you, the people of Dominica, the ultimate judges, you're going to be the ultimate judges. It's you who have to decide that this malicious group of people we have here as government, you have to remove them. That's what has to happen. The cost, look at this, the cost of this whole thing. Delbert Paris, Senator Delbert Paris, in the parliament, posed the question to Mr. Blackmore, Minister of National Security, what is the cost to the state in engaging these lawyers? And Blackmore refused to answer. He failed to answer. The rules of the House says that the minister shall answer the question unless it is his position that it would not be in the public interest to give the answer. So Blackmore, by refusing to answer Senator Paris, was confirming that in his opinion, it would not be in the public interest for the public to know how much money they paid for this matter. We're hearing $10 million. We don't know. And this is to a group of people who had no interest. I mean, Thomas mentioned the way these fellas, the callous way in which these fellas these two guys, the senior council canons, disappeared. Yesterday, when the judge said he was going to deliver his judgment today, the can was almost vexed. What kind of thing is that? No, but I have to go and he didn't say the same about my deduction. I have to go and do my whatever. And they left that afternoon. They left the junior lady there to receive the information. So we, and as I said earlier, and we must never lose sight of this, where this thing started. It was in the fight for free and fair elections. And they're coming next month with their parliamentary engagement on the issue of free and fair election, we must be vigilant. And I just want to say one, two little things here. So, okay, elections have consequences. The elections have consequences, and so our people must understand this is the time for them to show that they're not going to continue to have these people use them for their own personal benefit. Okay, so it is for us now to pay attention to what's going on. The fact that they did not put the impacts people report into play, it tells you that this was just straight considered malice. And while I mentioned Blackmore and Skerritt, we cannot forget the other parliamentarians, the other people who are parliamentary representatives. We cannot forget them. They are as guilty as Skerritt and Blackmore in this malicious persecution that they've been involved in. And you mentioned what next and cost. I indicate to you that I've taken Mr. Loader to the court, and we're going to deal with it. But the party, people have to understand the role of the United Workers Party in trying to maintain this democracy. We are going to parties involved in court matters to do with the CBI. Millions, billions of dollars that is out there. We have to go to court to deal with that. The government, it's based on what Mr. Skerritt has done. I'm going to conclude in that Mr. Skerritt is involved in trying to undermine the ability of this country to have a leader of opposition in place. That matter is before the court. We also have the situation where there are people who came in here in the 2019 elections, voted illegally. There are 6 of them, I believe. That matter is before the court as well. We're involved in that. And there's also, we're not involved in this one, but there's a constitutional challenge that is before the court. All those things are going to be up in the next few weeks. So people must understand, we are not involved in breaking the law. We want to operate within the law. So we are using our rights to go to the courts on a number of these matters, and we recognize that we, the United Workers Party, the only organized political party in this country, we have that responsibility. So while people are telling us they want to hear us and here, you have heard us announce a series of meetings. We're going to be involved in that. But we're also doing work on the other limb with the court and in other areas to make sure we have a democracy to operate.
Thompson Fontaine, what's next for you?
Yes, but what's next is to ensure that the people of Dominica do the right thing the next election and get rid of this government. I think, everybody agrees now that this government has outlived its usefulness. They are not contributing anything positive to Dominica's development. They are not making anybody's life better off. And therefore they have to go. And so everything that we do from now on will be focused on that singular goal, to get rid of this government in the next general election. And I would like to encourage the Dominican public to join us in that effort. I believe that we can talk to our neighbors, we can talk to our friends. This is a failed government, a government that would go after its citizens, its upstanding citizens, in the manner in which its government has done. Is not fit for office. It does not deserve to be in charge of the affairs of the state. And the people of Dominica, who have the ultimate power, must send a very strong message to this government that they will vote them out at the next election. So our actions as a party will continue to build on the meetings and town halls that we've had in the past. We'll continue to go out there to talk to the people and really enlist their support. Because at the end of the day, Matt, we're doing this for Dominica. At the end of the day, what is at stake is a country that could be doing extremely well against a country that is doing as bad as it is doing now. And this government, they have run out of ideas. The Prime Minister, by trying to get rid of his political opponents, by using the court system, by using the police. And, Mr. James says he feels sorry for the police, but the police need to stand up on their own. After all, you're a police force, you're independent. And I hope now that this case is over, I hope they will use those resources. The chief of CID and whoever else will use those resources to try to solve the many unsolved cases that we have in Dominica. That is where the efforts should be put.
I heard you earlier, Thompson, saying that you suffered, like I guess Mr. Linton and Mr. James, suffered as a result. You even lost a job opportunity there at the CBI, CB, whatever it is.
CDB.
CDB, that's it. Yeah. So you know, are you going to sue? Are you going to take some action as a result?
But definitely. As you know, I think for all of us here that feels aggrieved, we have to take some legal action. You know, we have to find some redress within those same courts. You know, I mean, my freedom was taken away from me for 3 days, 3 nights in the cell. You know, 3 nights in the cell, handled as if I were a common criminal. You know, and and try to explain to people why it is that I have to be in court all these years. They say, well, if you've done nothing wrong, why do they have you in court? You know, people cannot understand why it is, that I have not done something wrong, and yet I'm in court. So, all of that, the pain, the suffering, the obvious costs that were involved and is still involved, we still have to, as Lennox said, we still have to pay our lawyers. That's a huge cost there. It has cost us. So hopefully those who try to do us ill will have to cough up some money.
I mean, up until this morning, up until the ruling of the judge, I was an accused criminal on bail for $200,000. That was my status, an accused criminal on bail for $200,000. And the accusation has come from the government using the resource of the state. Let me say something about this delay, because the judge spent a lot of time on it this morning. We are talking, in our case, we're talking about an incident that took place 8 years ago, 8 years and 21 days ago today. It was 8 years on the 7th of this month. Today's the 28th. It's 8 years and 21 days ago. And we were charged and brought before the court in August of 2017, which is 7 years and 6 months ago. We have also, and the assessment of the judge is that this can't go on any longer. Enough time has passed. We no longer in the business of a fair trial, as is guaranteed by the Constitution, especially since the maximum penalty that they could suffer would not be more than 3 years. They've been waiting for 7.5 years, going on 8 years for this to happen. It's time to move this off the way. So he quashed the case. And in doing that, in presenting his ruling to the court, he cited a number of examples where judges made determinations that killed the cases on the grounds of inordinate delay. But we have other people who are victims of this inordinate delay, this justice delayed, denying them justice. And I want to cite this afternoon, the case of Vescott Jones of Marigot. Vescott Jones was wrongfully dismissed from his employment at the Dominica Air and Seaports Authority in December of 2014. 10 years passed. December just gone there before Christmas. He lost his job. 10 years, huh? And he has been waiting on the tribunal to issue a ruling since then. And the tribunal was dismantled. A new one was set up on the new chairmanship, and they wanted to start. So, and that was done so that they could start this matter all over again. Right? But it has been agreed, and the evidence in the matter so far is clear that Vescott Jones was wrongfully dismissed. And the penalty for the redress for wrongful dismissal, the relief is reinstatement to your job with no loss of pay. Okay? So if you were dismissed 6 months ago, you'd have to get your 6 months pay and get reinstated to your job. It's now 10 years that this young man has been denied justice through inordinate delays of bringing his matter to conclusion. Again, malice motivated by politics. Because Vescott Jones allowed me to send the crabbacks that he prevented me from traveling with back to my home, he lost his job. If I was ordinary citizen Lennox Linton, that would not have happened, At the point in time, I was leader of the United Workers Party. And it's because of that, because Vescott Jones didn't give them the opportunity they thought he could have given to them to arrest me and jail me for trying to bring crabbacks out of Dominica. He lost his job. Now, remember, based on the evidence, he has done nothing wrong. But he cannot work at the Dominica and Seaports Authority. In 2016, this government forced Ian Pinard out of the cabinet of ministers and out of the Parliament of Dominica based on an allegation of his involvement with a minor. You remember those accusations? He was forced out. So he did something, or he was accused of doing something that his colleagues in the Labour Party were not satisfied with. So they moved him aside, only to find out that they sent him, when they moved him from the cabinet and the parliament, they sent him to a nice cushy job at Petro-Carib, where he was making a lot of money. He is now taking over from Benoit Badwell, who was the one responsible for firing Vescott Jones at the port in 2014. And Benoit Badwell has moved on, he's retired. He's replaced by, guess who? By Ian Pinard as of December of last year, right? So Ian Pinard, who could not be in the parliament, could not be in the cabinet of ministers for an allegation of wrongdoing back in 2016, is head of the Dominica Air and Seaports Authority, but Vescott Jones, who did nothing wrong, who was wrongfully dismissed, cannot find employment at the Dominica Air and Seaports Authority in a position where he excelled. He has to be out on the street for the last 10 years without compensation. And you tell me about fairness, and you tell me about justice. One of the reasons I am happy about the decision of Justice Colin Williams this morning is because I sincerely believe, like others that he cited before, this is going to be a very important contribution to the jurisprudence of the Caribbean region on this question of inordinate delays in the criminal justice system that deny people of the constitutional right to a fair trial before an independent tribunal within reasonable time.
Yeah. And
something that the government fought against in this case through the attorney Israel Khan. And just one thing, Thompson, before you go, I understood why Israel Khan was of a kind of body language in the court yesterday, you know.
Frustrated?
Well, you know, he looked defeated. But he also looked as though, oh my God, the gravy train has come to an end.
Mm-hmm.
This gravy train is almost at an end, and I don't want to be here to witness that. So I'm taking my flight. He expected that the judge was going to come back in another month or two with a decision. The judge said, I'm coming tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock with my decision. I said, what? What do you mean tomorrow morning? I thought we were going to have a little time and so on and so on. But Khan saw the feeding at the trough coming to an end, and he didn't want to be here for that. Bessie going to take care of his carnival.
All right, somebody's saying here, before you go, Mr. Thompson Fontaine, that Skerritt and Blackmore must go. The campaign must start now. They can't be allowed to escape with this one. Opposition must unite in this one.
Absolutely, Matt. And people need to set aside their differences and work together towards this end. And that is a must. But I wanted to just make a quick comment on the abuse of the system and the court process that the judge spoke about. You know, not only was I arrested, Mr. James thrown into a cell as well. What happened as well was that I was like a common criminal. I was asked to report. I had to report to the police station twice a week, you know.
Wow.
I had to go and sign a paper at the Maui police station. And not only that, these guys took my passport away. Okay? They took my passport away, knowing that I need my passport to travel. Okay? So that denied me a lot of time that I would otherwise have gone back to work. I had to wait because I had to apply to get the passport back. I had to go through a process, you know, knowing that. So it was just wicked. It was just, you know, knowing that I am no flight risk. I am, you know, I was working overseas at the time. But it just showed you how they used that process to oppress us. And one of the things that my lawyer was very clear about, Mr. Later, was very clear that this whole process was oppressive. And it was.
All right, we'll come back and take some phone calls. We have to wrap it up there at 2:30. Hello.
Dominica, get your tickets now for the original South and Punch 2025 All White Affair Caribbean Rhythmic Fusion presented by the Rotary Club of Dominica and Flow. It all goes down Carnival Sunday, March 2nd, 4 p.m. at 7 Park Belfast. South and Punch 2025 is brought to you by Flow, Archipelago Trading, Johnny Walker, Caribbean, Spoon Up Vodka, Fine Footing, Belfast Estate, Vibes Radio, Tune Out of 5, TBS Radio, Josephine Gabriel Company Limited, King's Ocean, Argos, Mr. King's Punch, Tony's Punch, Essential Design, Pirates, Jeffries, Fresh Farm, Sunrise Airlines, Instant Trucking, RER Limited, ICWI, We Forward, and Discover Dominica. Don't miss, it all goes down. Carnival Sunday, March 2nd, 4 p.m. Salmon Park, Belfast, South and Punch 2025 with all your favorite bands and DJs. Worldwide, proceeds go towards community development. Secured parking available. Follow the Rochester Club of Dominica on Instagram for more info.
All right, Dominica, we're going to start taking your phone calls. The gentlemen are here. Good afternoon to you. Yes.
Yes, Matt.
Good afternoon to you. Yes, good afternoon to you.
And good afternoon to Mr. Edison James, Mr. Thompson Fontaine, and Mr. Linton.
Okay. Good afternoon.
I first of all would like to express my solidarity with the gentlemen for all that they have been through over the last 8 years, for the sacrifices made. And I think I would like to agree as well with Mr. Linton with his expressions regarding Vescott Jones. It is way past time that this injustice against him should come to an end. I'm very thankful that the court has acted as it should have today. I'd like to find out whether they are aware as to whether or not the court did or had the right to instruct the government to make payments in terms of the compensation for their legal fees and other matters, or is this something that will be dealt with at a later date? And I'd like to simply call on our people to open their eyes with regard to this persecution of anyone who is in opposition to this government and its evil actions. And I'd like to agree as well that members of parliament within parliament who are members of the government should be held equally responsible for these evil acts, because without them as pillars for this one-man government, this government would collapse. And so they must all be held responsible for the actions that continue to be perpetrated against persons who oppose this government. I will leave it there.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Again, the numbers are 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097, 305-432, 9624. Mr. James, you was about to make the point earlier.
No, the court did not make any give any directions with respect to costs and things like that. The court didn't do that. That was not the matter that was put before them, and they did not make any. The judge did not make any decision in that regard. But I just want to say to people, in the final analysis, Dominicans, it is you who will hold this rogue government to justice. And so I'd like to suggest to those people who have the ears of Mr. Skerrit, Mr. Blackmore, to change course. Vescott Jones. It cannot be right. It cannot be right. And so, I mean, the man has family members who are close to the administration. At least speak up. Friends, speak up. It cannot be right what they've done to Vescott. The man's mother died. A lady to whom is very, very close. You see Vescott look after his mother, my friend. I don't know if you ever experienced that. That is a man with a heart, okay? And to be doing that, to have done that to this guy, and to be still doing it, is just heartless. So asking people who Mr. Skerrit will listen to, he won't listen to us, people who will listen to say to him to stop that. Brian Linton, as I alluded to this morning, let us talk about Brian. Brian is another one. He's there on a charge of treason. His passport has been taken from him. Okay, it is how many years? They're doing nothing to address that case. So they have him in limbo in that situation. It cannot be right. It cannot be fair. Okay, today's ruling and the emphasis which the judge placed on this delay must send a message. Police, You have no case. Free up the man. The government, Blackmore again, the minister responsible for what is it?
National security.
National security, and has a direct labor, I think, as well. Address this matter with affairs court. You know what I know. We know what we know, partner. Stop that foolishness, Blackmore and Roosevelt Skerritt, and deal with this man and deal with Brian Linton as well. It cannot continue. But Mr. Skerritt said, and Matt, I hope you can find the tape where Mr. Skerritt said he's leaving in April 2025. We're going to be in March from tomorrow. April is next month. Mr. Skerritt, do yourself and do the country a favor. For once, be true to your commitment to the people of Dominica. Leave in April 2025.
Just go, man.
Hello, the telephone. Good afternoon, yes. Hello? Hello? Nobody in that line there. Again, 449-3095-96 and 97. These are the numbers to call, 305-432-9624. We have until 2:30. Hello, yes?
Hey, an afternoon to everybody in studio. I am the run by to make a quick observation. Mr. James said he's feeling sorry for the police. Mr. James, you can't feel sorry for the police, especially Mr. Corbett. I actually saw Mr. Corbett building got stoned that night whilst I was speaking to Tom, and I called him Thompson Fontaine whilst he was on Q95, reporting that situation. The guys that they picked up and they had in the cell the next day, most of them were liberated. Today, these people, they have bikes, they were buttered, their mouths were buttered, and they were compensated then for that move, and then they pin it on the opposition. You cannot feel sorry for the police, and Corbett had his wife testifying on that case. Am I right?
Yes, I think she was one of them, yeah.
Exactly. So my point is, you can't feel sorry for these guys. All these guys, they agreed to be Skerritt to a pipe, and Skerritt toilet paper. Have a good day.
All right. Let me just say, man, that the judgment of the court. Remember, we were talking earlier about the delay. The judge spent a lot of time on that. Let me quote the judgment here, where it says, on the evidence presented in this matter, responsibility for the delay cannot be attributed to the defendants, but rests squarely in the province of the state. The delay in this matter has been palpably and exceedingly long. The protected delay present in this case offends any sense of reasonableness or justice or fairness. There was an obvious breach of the constitutionally enshrined rights of Mr. Fontaine, Mr. Linton, and Mr. James to a fair trial within reasonable time. Any prosecution of the defendants at this time in relation to the events of February 2017 amounts not only to a violation of the rights of Mr. Fontaine, Mr. Linton, and Mr. James, but clearly amounts to an abuse of the process of the court. The cases against the three defendants must be permanently stayed. Given the determination that the indictment must be permanently stayed, there is no need for any further discussion of the indictment or of these separate trials. And it goes on further at paragraph 135 to say, the order in this matter is as follows. 1. It is declared that the right to a fair trial within reasonable time guaranteed under Section 8.1 of the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Dominica to Mr. Thompson Fontaine, Mr. Lennox Linton, and Mr. Edison James has been violated. 2. The indictment dated the 29th of January 2025, which charges Mr. Fontaine, Mr. Lennox Linton, and Mr. Edison James with incitement, is permanently stayed, and in the interest of justice, the trial cannot be permitted to proceed. 3. The state is barred from initiating or pursuing any further proceedings against Mr. Thompson Fontaine, Mr. Lennox Linton, and Mr. Edison James in respect of the incitement charge or any charge arising from the facts and evidence which form the basis of this February 7th, 2017 incitement charge. So to the question that you posed to Thompson earlier about whether this is the end of it in the other matters, the judge is clear here. It's the incitement charge or any charge or any charge arising from the facts and evidence which formed the basis of the 7th of February 2017 incitement charge.
All right, very revealing there. Now, Mr. James, you asked for a clip earlier. I think one of my producers sent this to you. Is it that what you're talking about?
You have a question about my stepping down? When? You said 2025? Yeah, 2025. We have some time. 2025. So, 2025.
You want to hear it again? This is his, when I ask the question.
You have a question about my stepping down? When? Yeah, 2025. We have some time. 2025. So, 2025.
Matt,
Yes,
there's even a clearer one, you know. When he was talking to us about the sham election 2022, when he was going to do the reset,
yes,
he solemnly, and this was in that setting.
Like he was crying.
All right. And that's the one I really would like you to hear, where Skerritt was saying that he has done his time, whatever, and he will be stepping down.
On the election trail, I remember.
Yeah,
Yes.
find that one and you can play it some other time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll try to find it. Okay, let's go back to the telephone. Are you there? On the telephone. Are you there? Yes?
Yeah, Matt, good afternoon to you, Matt.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
And good afternoon to Mr. Still in the house, Matt, Mr. Linton.
All three are still in the house, yes.
Yeah, but Matt, I ask this because my internet just making a mess and I don't know where you are. But Matt, I send your voice. So if you had the time to hear it, and I just cut it out. But if not, let me just say this to Mr. Linton specifically. Mr. Linton, I am extremely happy for all of you. But you see, you especially, because they never asked to go with none others but you. But I want you to open your eyes well, because there is a case pending about some alleged missing money. And I am concerned that this happened today, which makes me very happy, I'm not surprised, but I'm extremely happy. But I am opening my eyes, and I want you to open your eyes to see whether, when that case comes, because I understood that they're really asking to throw it away. So I want you to open your eyes to see whether this happened today, or tomorrow, or next day, or 2 days after, for them to throw away the case that is therefore the missing billions, for them to say, well, one was gone, or you rejoice, the other one's gone too. So let's have an open eyes as well. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. I think
on that point, Matt, that he's talking about the case that we brought regarding the funds that have been collected on the CBI and have not been accounted for. The billions of dollars have been collected but not accounted for under the Citizenship by Investment Program. That matter is now before the court. And the same government that was persecuting us over the past 8 years on this bogus charge of incitement, the very same ones who are trying to prevent the court from looking into this matter of the missing billions of dollars from the sale of Dominican passports. So they have hired, again, highly priced senior counsel. We have senior counsel as well from Trinidad, but they have two. They have one from Trinidad, and they have Anthony Astafan from Dominica, who is based or Antigua, or wherever he's based. And both of them are fighting tooth and nail in the court on behalf of the government to prevent the CBI money recovery matter from reaching the court. So they raised the question initially about whether the court had jurisdiction to hear the matter. And the judge listened to arguments from both sides on the jurisdiction point on Monday, and will give her ruling on the 10th of March. But I just wanted the people of Dominica to note that the government does not want the court to look into or to have anything to say about the monies collected under the Citizenship by Investment Program, the billions of dollars collected that have not been accounted for.
Interesting. Mr. James, I want to go back to the question.
Like they were saying, it is none of the people's business how much money they are spending to persecute this matter. They're saying it's none of the people's business what has happened to the billions of dollars, so you can best forget about that. And the state's money is being used against the public interest of the people of Dominica to know what has happened with their funds from the Citizenship by Investment Program.
Mr. James, here you are. You asked the question.
I'm eternally humbled and very grateful for the opportunity you have given me to serve. I hope that my efforts will be judged fairly and within context. On this occasion of national reset, I have listened to the views of all, and I have made a personal decision, which I have shared with some of my party elders. You have given me a mandate that constitutionally allows me to remain in office as your Prime Minister until April 2025. I do not intend to go beyond that date. I have run my race, and I intend to finish the course, with Dominica safely back on a road of sustained progress and prosperity.
That's
Yes, sir. Yes.
That makes you. That's
Yes, I'm here. Hold on. Yes, go ahead.
pay attention. The gentleman says that he's taking this position because he has heard the people.
Mhm.
You know that?
Yeah.
He has heard
Yes.
the people. Well, if the people tell you to go,
Go.
well, this go. You can't tap in at the people place when they tell you to go. You understand what I'm saying, man?
I understand, of course.
But
You don't deal Ali. Ali.
But let me point out something that just happened. Mr. James challenged Matt to come up with a clip. Matt asked AI. AI sent the wrong one. Mr. James said, no, it's not that one. So Matt went back to AI to say, well, did we just that's not the correct one. So please give me the right. And you see it came up. Mr. James does not underestimate the power you have with AI.
I never understood. That's why I insisted, because I know he has the proper AI. Right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Let's take a phone call before we wrap it up here. And talk to me, yes?
Yes, good afternoon to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Okay. How you
You are still here. You are still here to praise his name. You are still here.
All right.
Still here.
Thank you. More telephone calls. We have a few more minutes, and we'll wrap up this afternoon there with our gentleman, the distinguished. Hello, yes?
Hello? Hello?
Yes, hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
My voice smooth like anyway.
No, man,
But,
time,
good
sir.
afternoon to all the brothers. Congratulations, and everything. Mr. James, he's leaving, that's why he wants to rush that electoral reform. That electoral reform is his immunity. It's
Okay.
immunity guarantee. That's why we have to stop it. So I'm glad this case is over. It's also a good thing that it tells Dominicans that we can protest peacefully under the Constitution and be legal to do it. So let us put this thing together. Let's get ready for the end of March, because we have to stop this thing. You understand? It is unjust. Just as this case, this electoral reform that his brother is getting to pass on Dominicans is unjust. And so let us pull ourselves together and let us deal with this thing and prepare the people. We have to stop this thing. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings to you. More telephone calls. It's 2:19. Talk to me. Are you there, caller? Let's try this one. Are you there? Yes?
Mr. Peltier, blessings to you.
Blessings to you, sir.
Blessings to the gentleman in studio with you, Mr. Peltier.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
No need to congratulate or to celebrate. We can hear, well, some systems somewhere have scare at, compensate them for all the money. Thompson Fontaine, Living Sudan, Lennox, Linton, Mr. James, Papa, up and down. Matt, is it 8 months, they say it was? 8 months?
No, 8 months. 8 years. Yes.
I thought I did not hear well. For 8 years, a man persecuting you. And then for them to walk away without some form of justice. Tony Astafans and Skerritt frame up Mr. Linton. They committed a crime and they pin it on Mr. Linton. Justice. When they send the 2 British citizens, one have his coat over his forearm and his hand. He might have a weapon there. Nothing. All kind of madness. Now for somebody to tell me for me to celebrate, I want to fight. I don't want to celebrate. So it is damn sad to see what is going on. And the priests and the pastors and many influential people will say, oh, to the, I don't want to know, it's UWP. When all your judgment come on all you. Things have a way of trickling in its multiplication. And eventually, it will catch all you. So, my brethren, and them, all I can say is more power, more strength, and more courage, but nothing to celebrate, nothing to congratulate and be excited about, because the criminals persisting about my 2000 and what 15 or 2005. What is it, Matt?
You mean
2024 or 2025? When is they going to resign?
25, April.
Okay, 2030. 2030. Okay, see you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. This one there we need to play before the gentleman there. They never gave up the fight. Something inside me is so strong.
The higher you build your barriers, the taller I become. The farther you take my rights away, the faster I will run. You can deny me, you can decide to turn your face away. No matter, 'cause there's something inside so strong. I know that I can make it. No, you're doing me wrong, so wrong.
Mr. James, somebody says the first hero of your campaign wants to say good afternoon. Bowie, good afternoon.
So strong. Something inside so strong.
And never give up after 8 years.
The more you refuse to hear my voice, the louder I will sing. You hide behind walls of Jericho. Your lies will come tumbling. Deny my place in time. You squander wealth that's mine. My light will shine so brightly it will blind you. Because there's something inside so strong. I know that I can make it, but you're doing me wrong.
They never gave up, huh?
You thought that my pride was gone. Oh no, there's something inside so strong. Something inside so strong.
Let's take a few voice notes there. A lot of telephone calls are coming in here. We have a few minutes. Hello, yes?
Good evening, Matt. Well, it's evening for me.
Mm-hmm.
To my brother, my uncle, and my godfather, Mr. James, the honorable three people that's in the office there with you. I want to thank all of them for the fight they have gave. And I am very, very grateful that they're still there trying to teach the Dominican public the right thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Hello, yes. What's that?
How are you?
I'm all right.
Matt, I'm calling from Margaret. I want to say to the members there, we are very, very happy that everything is now over, and that we're happy that the government will now find way of making way for the people of Dominica. They have to get the hell out of there. They have to move. Now is the time. And I want to say thanks to all the lawyers for doing a wonderful job. And we knew from the beginning that there was never a case. There was never a case. It was just an old political stupidness. But they will pay the price.
Hold on. Partner with my fish.
Partner.
Okay.
All right, let's take this voice note there. Fishy says it's a little scarce.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon to you.
Dr. Thompson Fontaine,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Lennox Linton, and Mr. Edison James. I say congratulations. But more so, thank you. Thank you so much for standing for country for so long. What you've been through is really, this is what is called sacrifice. And you all have sacrificed so much. And I just want to say thank you so much for showing what true patriotism looks like. I know there is a lot to say, and there are many things that are in the works. But if there are the victories for today, if they speak anything, it's to tell the people that, listen, there should be no fear, because you all stood up to the monster, and literally you've slain the monster. And if the people look on you all as the example, there will be no fear. People cannot be afraid to stand. You must stand for something. That is life. Life is about giving up things to save other things or other people. And thank you so much for being the model of what selflessness and sacrifice and true patriotism look like. I know you all have a lot of work to do. We certainly stand behind you. The next big fight for the people is electoral reform. I have no doubt that Dominica will come out in droves, because they realize that standing up to the monster and slaying that monster and winning that monster is something that every single Dominican can get and can do. So thank you again. Thank you so much. And, we are behind you and we support 100%. Have a blessed day.
Have a blessed day, gentlemen. We're going to go around the table and, of course, wrap it up there for the afternoon. Mr. Lennox Linton, let's have your comments and then we'll move around the table.
Well, Matt, this was oppressive. It was malicious. It was vindictive. It was politically motivated. And it was politically motivated as part of an initiative to decapitate the leadership of the United Workers Party. It's been around for 8 years. It did not succeed. The justice system has had its say, and we will have our say going forward. But what is clear, and what ought to have been clear to the people over these past 8 years of persecution of three of us, Dr. Fontaine, Mr. James, and myself, is that you're dealing with a set of people who are unsuitable for the responsibility of leadership and governance in Dominica. They're unfit to be in the government of Dominica, because so far, all they have done is look about themselves. If you look at how the interests of the people have been devalued, if you look at how the people have become poorer and poorer, if you look at how the living conditions in Dominica become more and more intolerable under this administration, while the individual members of the administration have done so royally well for themselves, you will understand exactly what it is we're talking about. And the reason we are persecuted is because of what we stand for. We stand for a better day for Dominica. We stand for better days as opposed to beggar days for the people of Dominica. We stand for uplifting the economy such that the people will have, especially the young people, will have a chance to earn money, will have a chance to build their means of livelihood, be able to take care of themselves and their families and live on the best place in the world that anyone can live, that anyone can work, that anyone can enjoy life. That's why we stand. That is what we are all about. Equal advancement opportunity for everyone. This government is interested in advancement opportunities for itself alone. Years ago, one man at age 31 got the opportunity to be prime minister of Dominica. And since then, the question has to be asked, which other young people have had a decent chance to do anything for themselves in Dominica? The man who emerged at age 31 as prime minister of Dominica is referred to as young people in this country as a dream killer. And he can continue in that dream killing position because he has captured the electoral process, and the people are insisting that reforms are necessary to give them back the right to put in government the people that they want to put there with their majority votes of conscience. And that is what we are fighting for. That's what we are standing for. The last 8 years under this persecution will mean nothing if we don't take the lessons powerfully forward and ensure that we move away decisively from people in government who will be so brutal, who will be so malicious, who will be so oppressive of their own, just because they don't like their views, just because they feel offended that people say you're not performing, you're not doing well, you're not doing the people's work, and you need to move on. This is a democracy, and we must stand firmly for it, which is what we're doing and we'll continue to do. Opportunities are going to emerge in the next couple of weeks for us to stand together in very powerful ways. When the meeting of Parliament comes forth on the 19th, and we will have enough time between then and now to know that what is going before the Parliament is inadequate for what we need to have free and fair elections in Dominica. We have to prepare ourselves to stand now and to be at the Parliament in numbers that we have never seen before and with a resolve that we have never seen before to fix this country and to make it right, to put it back to right order, which is where it truly belongs.
James?
Yes. Matt, this matter, as I've said before, I say now, I'll say again, has its roots in our fight for electoral reform, recognizing that elections have consequences. We must never lose sight of that. While Thompson, Fontaine, Lennox, Linton, and myself represent the specific fight, the general fight is for all of you, all of us, and Lennox alluded to what is on the horizon with respect to what is expected to go to the Parliament. Let us inform ourselves. We will do, Mr. Thompson Fontaine, our leader, Lennox, the president. I'm somewhere in the background. We'll do all our best to flesh out all the details and to bring to you as to what should happen. I want to take the opportunity to, again, reiterate the position of Vescott Jones and Brian Linton is unconscionable. And especially with Brian Linton, there's no way you can know, especially with that judgment about delay, there's no way I would think that any court can succeed in a matter against Brian Linton on this bogus charge of treason. So let us stop that foolishness and free up the man. I want to take the opportunity to say, to extend condolences to the family and friends of Steve Gordon, a stalwart of the village of Marigot. He died a few days ago at 97. And on the flip side, you have the granddaughter of Hilma Matthew. So I want to extend condolences to them as well. And I want to say, Matt, you met me. I saw you earlier out there. I had to tell you that I want to be a journalist when I saw the what you were driving. So,
the Poitiers.
Yes. But what I was doing, when I was just leaving from assisting the colleagues in selling some raffle tickets.
All right.
That raffle ticket money is to help us to do things like we have to do here now, to fight causes and so on. So go there every Friday when you have the opportunity. Buy $5, give yourself an opportunity to win something big. And you know, Matt, one interesting thing that happened while I was there, I had an encounter with Clarence Christian. He passed there and he was heading 1,000 miles an hour, going about his business. So I said, Clarence, come talk to me, man. So Clarence then came and spoke to me. And in such profound bitterness, he told me about why he hates me and our party is because some years ago, I did not recommend him for the position of head of the corporate division.
Oh my God.
So I said, Wagner, peace to you, peace to you. But that is the pettiness,
depth
on which man emanates hatred for a person doing his work. Anyway, I just want to say it's good to have reached this stage.
Thank you.
And I see you have a hat there.
They said, so let's make Dominica great again.
No. That's a MAGA hat, man. You must say what you said. Matt says, make America great again. MAGA.
I'll give you a secret to that. I'll give you a secret to that.
And just finally, I want you, Matt, and if it means that I have to pay you a contribution every so often, every day from now until April, could you please find a way to play that little clipping from Mr. Skerritt, where the people ask him to leave in 2025.
All right.
If I have to pay you,
we'll fight. We'll make it work. Okay, Thompson.
Yes, Matt. Very quickly, thanks to you. And let me say, we have not suffered these 8 years in vain. I believe that the people of Dominica, through what our tribulations and through literally our trial that we've gone through, I believe they now understand the kind of government that we have to deal with. And I think what this would have done is to strengthen the resolve of the Dominican public to ensure that this government, as I said, is relegated to the dustbin of history. We have to do everything possible within ourselves, including through electoral reform, to see the backs of this government this Roosevelt Skerrit-led administration is the worst thing to have happened to Dominica. Our country is on its back like a turtle, helpless, suffering. Our people are becoming more impoverished by the day. Just this afternoon, I met a young man from Petit Savan who was telling me that, he used to have his home in Petit Savan. Now he's pushed into an apartment. They have nothing that they can even go to the bank, whereas they could have done that before. Said life is horrible for them, for the people of Petit Savan who are now living in those apartments. So, there's a lot of work to be done, a lot of misery that this government has piled upon the people of Dominica. But today, let's remember today, a day that shall go down in infamy, to use the words of a former great leader, that from today we'll resolve to work hard, to work diligently, to work in unity, to ensure that we bring change to Dominica.
No happiness but but from where I stand, I see spiritual warfare. The things that we see, people going after. It is very clear that there are demons out there. And if we need to stop this evil spirit from invading our churches and public office, evil and good can be in one unit. If it's like here on the Obia, pretend like you don't know it there. Things happening in our face, people behave like they don't taste. In Christians are 100-fold, but workers can't block out. Uncle wants to snap again, but this time I hear Uncle pray. We don't open our eyes and stop the things they will do if we play deaf and moo. We have pastors from East and West, Metabla and Jamaica. Them man, that's tremble. Please pray for the churches, please pray for the police. They are fighting battles that should not exist. The churches would pray and police would arrest. To take out them demons and clean up all comments. But it seems my people, they are under a spell. Tibo is the remedy to keep them in health. The church and police to fight for what is right. Oh, help me, God, them for life. It seems the country in a trance. People need that deliverance. Playing like a pharaoh, say that my people. The people say you get too long, uncles are waiting for my son. It's appropriate for money, destroying the economy. We don't open our eyes and stop. Got the dynasty of the one-man party. Or worship and playing masters doing anything that they want. Them man, I have never done it, so to that I can't relate. Or some people just go back and eat up their vomit. Some would even appear to stand up for justice. When even anger the carrot, they rush into it. But the like this disease catching everybody, making them lose principle and morality. But trust me, the evil you indulge in today.
Dominica, we're back. I did promise you
Tell me what you promised, imagine.
for the last few minutes.
Here a big police look until he ain't his fam. Check out the make their statistics because he tell them the police free. And then no minister keeping bail when is them that should be in jail.
I did promise yesterday Mr. Andy Joel will be back, but we don't have too much time. We don't have too much time. And we will be giving a few more tickets for the finals. But Andy, I guess you heard the news this afternoon.
Well, Matt, we talked about the news yesterday, didn't we? We said this was wasteful spending. We said this.
And you believe that?
But Matt, I believe that. And not only that, Matt, here's the thing. This is only probably the tip of the iceberg on the wasteful spending.
You think there's a lot more there?
Let's just, you know what I would like to see? How this gets registered on the bank books. You know, when you pay these people, what do you put it under? What do you put it under on your back? I mean, what do you put under persecution?
Millions of dollars
spent with nothing to show for it.
8 years.
We could have fixed a whole bunch of potholes in Roseau. We could have fixed a bunch of potholes in Roseau with $58 million. I mean, we would have bought some gravel or something, tarish or something, $8 million worth of tarish. We could have fixed the entire roads in Dominica with $8 million worth of tarish.
Again, you think it's just a waste of time?
Well, man, it obviously shows that we have the wrong people at the wheel. Obviously, you know what? I would really like the Minister of Finance to come out and say something. And if he's truly a Minister of Finance and he thinks he's good at his job, he should come out and say something. Here's the thing. Here's how much we spent. Here's how much it's been wasted. Here's what we are doing. Not only that, Matt, the Dominican people have not realized this as yet, because I heard some guy call in this morning and he said, hey, you know, I'd like to see compensation for all these things that happen. And you know what? The Dominican people are now on the hook for compensating the individuals that have been harassed by this system. So if these individuals say, here's the deal, we would now like to sue the government of Dominica. Whoever the government of Dominica is now under a lawsuit. And guess who's the government? Or who's funding the government?
The taxpayers.
The taxpayers. So the people of Dominica, while they may be rejoicing that this happened today, I'm going to also tell you that we now have a tax or liability on us that we now need to try to make sure we solve people's problems. So I don't understand why. I mean, in some essence, it's good to celebrate, but these frivolous suits or these frivolous actions that are taken by our government have significant consequences. And who pays for the consequences? We do. We always pay. And this is something that I try to bring to light every time. Why are we paying for bad instructions, bad decisions, and poor mindset of the government? Why are we paying? Again, our tax dollars going to waste. This is important, Matt, that we start looking at this effectiveness of this government.
Said yesterday, it has to be an audit of the system.
There has to be an audit. I said let's do an audit. We need to really justify the spending that's going on. We need to stop just sending money and people are just writing useless checks. And this was a good example to show. The last time we had a good example to show was when Mr. Scarrett went out and he bought a car for his kids at $182,000. Just to transport them because the 2016 vehicle that he had was not good enough. Remember that? Wasteful spending again? Can anybody say? But Matt, more importantly, think about this. This is just the tip of the iceberg. This is just what we're seeing. What about all the stuff we're not seeing?
On the telephone, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. I just want to be fast. I want to congratulate Mr. Jolly again for coming back. And his first opening, he's a sharpshooter. Exactly what I was going to tell Dominicans. Do not rejoice that Thompson, Fontaine, everybody, just be happy that they are free because they wanted to have them in captivity. But it's we that is going to pay the money. Now, in closing, Mr. Jolly and Matt, I would like you all to come up by cash and carry to see the hole there before somebody break their foot. Mr. Jolly, you said you won't invest your money in politics, but if you can invest your money just to block the hole, It won't take you too much. I'll appreciate it. Bye-bye.
You know, somebody just said, in 20 years, we've not fixed the parking issues in Roseau.
Which parking issues, man? I can fix the parking issues. You call Mr. Blackmore down here today, and we're going to have a discussion. You know how I'm going to fix the parking issues in Roseau, and I'm not even going to charge the government of Dominica for fixing it.
You know?
No. We've talked about this time. We need to start parking all the cars on one side of the road. We choose the right or the left side of the road and say this is the only side that vehicles are supposed to park. We cannot park vehicles on both sides of the road and leave the center lanes, and we don't have sidewalks in Roseau.
Limited space.
Matt, this is dangerous. And you know what's going to happen one of these days, Matt? Somebody's going to break their foot in one of these potholes and sue the government because the government is responsible for the roads. And that's what happens in the U.S. Simple. If the road causes you injury, you pay your taxes and the government doesn't fix the roads. Guess what? Turn around and file a lawsuit to the government because the government is the responsible party. So pretty soon, Matt, something bad is probably going to happen. And guess what? They're going to be on the hook for more money again. Wow. So keep those defense attorneys or those attorneys that they have from Trinidad around, because I'm going to tell you, people are just getting fed up and more litigious right now. And they know it.
Are you the caller? No, you're not. Let's take another call there. We don't have too much time. Remember, we have about a few more tickets to give away. Are you the caller? Yes?
Yeah, just quickly. Doc, blessings to you. Doc, remember my cap on them. I will be the man managing it. Let us make Dominica strong. Right? Great again, Matt?
Yes, great again, yes.
And you, my brethren, I want to commend you for your courage. And Matt, call Blackmore. Tell Blackmore by the car wash in Massac. There is a dead dog there, bloated. Here, Castle Laville. Call them. Matt, smell, and it's going to burst, Matt, to make matters worse. Blackmore, do your work. That is security. Thank you.
Hello, talk to him on the telephone. Yes, I saw the dog there yesterday. I'm amazed that it hasn't been taken off there. Hello, yes? 449-3095. Somebody says at this time we need a victory lap campaign from Scottsdale to La Plaine. Maybe next Sunday. That's a suggestion coming from, I guess, a Dominican who thinks that we need a victory lap.
I don't think we need a victory lap, Matt. Really and truly, I'm going to tell you why we do not need any victory lap, or we should not be celebrating too hard. I think I'm very happy that the gentleman got off. But Matt, this whole situation is an embarrassment to the government of Dominica. This news is going to travel far and it's going to travel wide. It's not good news for us. And we, the people, are the ones that are going to suffer. So while we might be celebrating that some justice happened in Dominica, and don't get me wrong, I understand why the people need a victory lap, because justice doesn't really happen in Dominica too often, right? But here's the thing, Matt. This is bad news for us. This is showing that our government literally is taking a position or posture that they're going to prosecute people, which usually happens in communistic countries, that are against them. So why are we pretending that we're that type of country? Dominica is a loving country. Dominica is somewhere that's known all over the Caribbean as one of the nicest places to visit, nature island of the Caribbean. And here you have some people at the top being prosecuted because their political affiliation or their political stance on certain things. Why are we prosecuting people for that? Why aren't we working together? So obviously, Matt, you talked about yesterday getting investors into the country. No investors are going to want to come and see this. No investors are going to see that the fact that we have a government that's literally pointing fingers and prosecuting people because either of their religious beliefs, their sexual orientation, their political affiliations. Nobody in the world wants to see this right now, and therefore people will stay away from us. So it is not a very good thing, and we should not even publicize this.
All right, Dominica, 449, are you there, caller? No, you're not. 449-3095. Remember, Andy, we're going to change the subject at this time.
Right, we're going to try to give it. Matt, why don't we do some easy questions? You know, yesterday I got a lot of blows on the street. You know why I got blows on the street, Matt?
Because of me?
Because of you, man. I'm telling you. People kept saying, just walk downstairs and give away the tickets instead. Because they said it would be easier to do that rather than to answer those questions Matt was answering.
I'm going to make it easy.
Let's get some easy questions.
We're going to do 2 tickets?
Let's do 2 tickets today.
All right, let's do that. Let's do that, okay? I try to make it easy.
I am a born Dominican, a school Dominican. I love poet schools, accounts, and mathematics.
All right, we're gonna start off the games here for tickets. I'm making it easy because you have influenced Andy to tell me make it easy. He's the sponsor. So stick around, huh?
Big. Got you from my north. Don't like them small. No challenge at all. Love the biggest big. The bigger the better. More time to calculate. Don't like them small. It takes no effort.
All right, the question, a simple question. What year was that song sang? And the name of the artist and the name of the song.
That was one of my favorite songs, but you know, I watched the video on that one.
I'm sure you can't give me the answer.
I can't give you the answer, but I love the song. I'm telling you, I watched the big girls exercising in that.
Yes.
I am a
Don't forget the big show tomorrow night.
unemployed Dominican.
Do you have any favorites, Andy? Do you have any favorites? For
Well, I do. I'm gonna tell you. Joy is one of my favorites.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you, Sharnice, definitely my favorite. And it's gonna be a tough competition. I'm gonna tell you, I like, Dice is my guy. I love Dice as well. But the competition is.
You've mentioned 3 names thus far.
I've mentioned.
You said Shanice, you said Joy. Who do you think is going to walk away?
Well, Matt, I don't know, because the calypso, and this is something that a lot of people have not considered. Calypso is not just about the song; it's also about how you perform the song on stage, to the presentation of the song, and really the clarity of the voices. Because there was a year that I thought Triller was going to beat Dice.
Mm-hmm.
And then Triller didn't do as well as Dice on stage, although his song was totally amazing. I love Triller's song. I mean, Triller for me is my superhero, So, but the presentation comes for a lot. So if the presentation is not to the judges' liking, even though the song is a good song, I don't think any one of those people will win.
All right, we'll find out. Is somebody on the telephone? Uh-oh.
I am a born
Hello. Are you there, caller? Are you there? Uh-oh.
I'm the treasurer of the association.
I'll have to bring something for you.
All right, 449-3095-96 and 9.
Bless you. Good afternoon, caller. Good afternoon. How
are
are
you doing? How are you doing?
Oh my God, Jesus Christ, man.
The question, yes.
The question is, who sang this song and in what year did they sing it?
Trendsetter 2024.
2024, I'm sorry.
No.
Trendsetter, yes.
Trendsetter was the answer, but not the right year.
Not the right year. The answer, the question was not answered. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Hello?
Yes,
Hello.
yes.
So what year was the song sang?
2022.
2022. And who was the singer of the song?
No, what was the name of the song?
Name of the song. What was the name of the song?
Big.
No, sorry. I know I'll catch you this time. I know I'll catch you this time.
Bigger. Right. Love the figures big. Got you for my money. But like them small. No challenge at all. Love the figures big. The bigger the better. More time to calculate. Don't like them small. It takes no effort working them out at all. But big. My personal desire. Once I can handle it, then I will jump on it. Here we go now. Bim dam 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 bim dam dam. Hey. Big figures, big figures, big figures.
Well, it looks like we're still looking for a winner here. Hopefully, we can get somebody that can tell us a little bit more about the song that just got completed. Matt, what's going on with the Calypso knowledge in Dominica? We gotta make a Calypso book. Maybe we make something with a few facts in it.
And this song is still on, and nobody has given us the answer.
Nobody giving.
And you told me I was trying to be hard. That's very, very easy.
Matt, this might be too hard. You know that a big is all we have in this song. So.
No. That's not the answer. Hello, talk to me. Yes.
Hello, good day.
Yes, sir.
Trendsetter 2022 figures.
See, repeat again.
Trendsetter 2022. The name of the song is Figures.
You're right. You're right there.
Looks
You're
like
right.
he's got it. He's got the figures. Because Trendsetter said he was an accountant, so he was doing math. So give us your first name and your last name, caller.
My name is Leonard.
Leonard.
Jean-Baptiste.
Jean-Baptiste, what's your phone number?
225 4160.
Excellent. Well,
225 what?
225 41
4160.
60. Got it. Okay, well, stop by the office, pick up those tickets as soon as you can.
A little later.
A little later this afternoon.
Or tomorrow.
Or tomorrow. All right.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
It takes no effort.
And this just letting me give away tickets just like that.
It's a man desire. Once you can handle it, then tackle it. Let me know now. Bim dam 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 bim dam dam dam. I am a born Dominican, an employed Dominican, your loan officer at the NBD. My job is just looking at on figures.
I'm gonna change the song. This one. Listen, let's go.
What's happening, man?
And name me that song.
Looks like we got somebody. We want the name of the song, the artist, and the year.
You are the one responsible.
Oh my man, we gotta give away those tickets. We gotta give them away. You know, the show is tomorrow night. We can't delay too much.
Came down to Dominica, first time in a long time.
All right, Dominica, we here.
I don't know why he vexed with man like Hunter. Is with me choose to line.
Andy boy, you're too easy.
I know.
He got disappointed.
You sound like Santa this afternoon.
I know. Let's see what the first caller has to say here.
Let's see. Are you there, caller?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, give us the name of the song, the year it was sang, and who sings it, please.
Trendsetter 2022.
No, we got that song already.
Dominica, just like Canada and America, it's only grapes and apples I see selling everywhere. Yo kids ain't no banana.
Go in the book of history, Calypso.
No banana. Le books are like kids ain't banana.
All right. Hello, on the telephone. Somebody wants to win a ticket, huh? You there, caller?
No, I don't want. Let me tell you, let's turn the artist question. And Matt is not just to
Hey, people making noise about that. Well, I in charge, Lucille. I in charge.
He's saying, no, the labor between workers and labor, and that's the Gatoka. He said those fellas, they don't like Dominic.
Hello. Are you there? Hey, somebody want a ticket there, Andy?
Yes, that was correct. Yeah, that's correct. You know, I mean, like this person knows their history a little bit, but they sung it like they did their homework on this one because you know this person deserves to go to the Calypso finals.
Are you there, caller?
Yes.
You said that. Yes, I give birthday for me.
Jesus,
What's
you know,
the name?
Matt was the one that wanted to ask all the hard questions today, so I'm glad you got it right. What's your name, caller?
What's the number? Hold on. Oh, Solange. Repeat
Write that
again.
down. Solange Maglo.
Repeat again.
What's your phone number, Solange?
235-6639. Every
Matt,
time I call Matt too, he doesn't answer.
I know. You know, I think Solange, you have caller ID here and he see your number and he hang up on you, you know. So watch out.
Andy, I see lights. So put me in trouble. All right, Solange. Come by, get a ticket today, tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Okay?
All right.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Have they all gone mad?
Andy, can we do one more before we go? We have 1 minute. Oh, what's that?
Let's do another ticket. Let's do free tickets. I mean, look, man. Let's get as many people in the show as possible celebrating, because this is going to be a show for the record books, Mark.
All right, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change my format around.
Okay, change your format. Matt going to make it so hard we're never going to give away this ticket. We're going to have to give away the ticket. Let's change the format, man. Let's give them something good. Give them something good.
All right, I'm going to give them something good. So stick around, Dominica. We're here. Tell me what year. I'm going to play the song, and then we'll find out. Okay, I'm going to play a song. Let's see. I want to be a little...
But Matt, we can't let the song play too long, because if we let the song play too long, everybody going to have the lines filling up, people listening, and they need that ticket to go. You have to understand, everybody want to be there for this Calypso show this year.
All right, we're gonna try one more.
Okay.
Are you there, caller? Are you're there? Yes. Boy. That lady bad. She wants some ticket. I can tell you.
Yeah,
that.
let's give her something. Let's make sure she know her Calypso.
Let's go.
We can break the spells we under. We have to find our way.
The name of the song, the artist, and the year. Are you there, caller?
Big Bob, go and sing the truth 2018.
I'm so sorry. See?
Oh, God.
Oh, boy. Andy, I'm gonna do one more ticket to go.
Let's get the next call on the line. The phones are lighting up right now, so let's see what this caller has to say. Caller,
I don't think I'm gonna ask the same question.
Okay, well, go ahead. Let's do the question. Let's see what you got.
I think I'm gonna ask the same question. Yes, ma'am.
Matt.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
called earlier and give the answer, you know. I said 2024. You said I was wrong.
You were?
And I called back again. I said 2022.
It was 2022. It was 2022.
Mm-hmm. So what?
And I called back again.
Okay.
I gave the right answer.
Well, you're here right now, caller. So Matt's gonna ask you one more question. So you have one more chance, and he's putting the song in right now. So if you could give us the name of the artist, and you can tell us what year, the song, and the name of the song on this song that Matt's pulling up for you right now, you can possibly win.
World needs you now.
Are you there, caller? Are you there? Yes? Oh, sorry. Caller, you may have called. I'm giving the right here, but you had the wrong song. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. You here? Caller, are you there? Nobody there. Nobody wants to answer the question.
Money cannot buy.
Hello, talk to me in the afternoon. I'm having fun. Yes, one more.
Yeah, Matt, I want Andy to ask my question.
And ask him the same question I'm asking him. Yes.
The question is going to be who's singing the song that we're playing right now, the name of the song,
and
the year,
That's it.
and the person who's singing it. Go ahead and answer real quick. Okay, we go and put the song on. Matt, raise the volume on the song for a little bit there. Let's see if we can get this guy to win a ticket.
World needs you now.
Caller, are you still there?
Yeah,
I gave you time to answer the question now. I don't have more time. We have to join Flow.
Well, that is Michael Laughlin.
I'm so sorry. I know we have to wrap up. We have joined Flow. Maybe tomorrow. You give me the ticket. I'll give it away tomorrow.
That sounds like a plan. That sounds like a plan, Matt. Tomorrow again, everybody gets a try. Well, good evening out there. Everybody have fun. Have a good carnival.
All right. Thank you very much, folks. We'll be back tomorrow. We have a few more tickets to give for the finals. Hello, Flo Dominica.